Thank you, Katie Frederick. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our webinar here at the Connect Center. And I am really pleased for this afternoon's presentation. I just want to do one other plug. We do these webinars quite frequently. A week from today, we have our monthly series, Career Conversations, where we interview a blind person, a blind professional. Next week, we're talking with Ty Tomasi, our Accessibility, Belonging, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director here at APH, and blind herself. She has quite an interesting career. We'd love for you to join us, and you can also ask your questions during that interview as we do each first Thursday of each month. And then on March 12th, we have our Entitlement to Empowerment webinar, all about the vocational rehabilitation process, really is focused on transition age youth, those of you or who are working with young folks ages 14 and older, learning and wanting to understand how rehabilitation works. So we're really excited about that. But today we have Envision's College Success Program. Katie Atasio is the Engagement Operations Manager. I first learned about Envision's College Success Program when they were over at Learning Ally last summer, and I talked with Mary Alexander, and wow, this is such a cool program. Really, the focus is on mentoring. So we engage with Envisions and we learned so much. And so today we are welcome to host Envision's College Success Program, a panel of mentors and mentees. And Katie Atasio, Engagement Operation Manager, welcome. And we really appreciate you all spending time with us today.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here and share about our program. So, again, to everybody, welcome. This webinar, we're calling it Envision Your Future with the College Success Program. As Richard mentioned, my name is Katie Otaggio. I'm the Engagement Operations Manager for the College Success Program. So I work on the program all day, every day with our National Director, Mary Alexander. Mary was supposed to be joining us today, but unfortunately something had come up and she's unable to, so I will be taking her place. But I'm going to actually switch it over to Preston, one of our CSP mentors, who's going to moderate this webinar today. So Preston, do you want to go ahead?
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Preston Radke. I am your moderator today and a mentor with the College Success Program. Just to keep things moving along, you'll hear a lot more about me in a few minutes, but now I'm going to move into actually asking Katie Otaggio some questions to kind of let everyone kind of get acclimated with the College Success Program. So Katie, can you just kind of give us an overview as to what the College Success Program is and maybe who it benefits?
Yeah, sure. So the College Success Program started in 2013. So as Richard mentioned earlier, the CSP, we often refer to it as the CSP, was originally with Learning Ally, which was a nonprofit organization out of Princeton, New Jersey, and focused on on literacy, literacy among learners who may have difficulty with that. So Learning Ally originally focused on blind and low vision students, and then expanded to basically all students, students with dyslexia, things like that. However, back in 2013, Learning Ally received some funding from the Lavelle Fund for the Blind that was specifically to be used on research that focused on the experiences of college students who are blind or have low vision. So research was conducted, students were interviewed, as well as their family members, TBIs, professors. Students were followed around campus. And from that, there were some really interesting, significant findings. There were three main things that came out of that. The first is that students need to arrive at school prepared to direct their own learning. Second, students are at risk of becoming socially separated from their peers and isolated in the classroom, diminishing their quality of their educational experience. And students need to embrace technology as having a critical role in their success, both in learning and keeping up with their sighted peers. So the CSP was basically created to address these findings. It was developed utilizing expertise of industry leaders in the blindness field, college students themselves. It was all pulled together to create this program, which includes a lot of different things. But basically, the intention is that it's to provide this additional level of support for students who are blind or low vision, to help them navigate college, to help them to enter the workforce, to go through that entire journey and that process, and to not have to, reinvent the wheel or feel that they're alone. They can come to the CSP for that support. So the CSP offers a lot of different elements. We are a fully virtual program, so it's available 24 hours a day, basically, on a fully accessible website. We, on that website, have a plethora of resources. We cover quite a few topics. We cover everything from preparing for college to communicating with professors, O&M on campus, discovering technology, exploring majors, basically everything that can kind of, impact that college journey. We recently created a new category, safety and empowerment, which was really focusing a lot around safety for college students. So we have those resources, but in addition to that, we have we've really built out a community. So we do have a Facebook group. We also have twice weekly meetups, which is an opportunity for students to call in and talk with their peers. These meetups are run by CSP Mentors, and we'll talk about mentors a little bit more, but it's run by the mentors, and it's just this 2 hours twice a week for students to be able to call and talk to other people who are going through similar things, or just to talk about anything and everything. So that's really, there's this community that's been built up around that. We also offer webinars, monthly webinars like this one. We do have a podcast. It's been on a bit of a hiatus for a little while, but it will be coming back. And mentorship. That's one of the big things. So that's it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Katie. I think that was a great overview of what we do here at the CSP. It's always wonderful to kind of know where the need comes from, kind of learn about those roots. So kind of switching gears a little bit to something that Richard alluded to a few minutes ago, could you maybe talk about the recent acquisition of the CSP College Success Program from Learning Ally to Envision?
Yeah. So the acquisition by Envision was really, it's a partnership that really has made sense from the beginning. Envision's sole focus is really on jobs for those who are blind and visually impaired. And the CSP's focus has always been on getting students into a position to be hired, to get a job. So it really made sense that it went together. Envision has a lot of programs that range for all ages. I mean, Envision has an early childhood center, right there on their campus that integrates both typically sighted and visually impaired students. They have programs for high school and middle school. They just opened an art gallery. It's a really cool thing there in Wichita. There's clinics, rehabilitation. But Envision realized that there was really nothing addressing that college age audience. The thinking was, okay, you get students, blind and low vision students, all the way through, through high school. They'd go off to college, and then Envision would pick them back up whenever it was time for them to get a job. But they realized that wasn't really happening. So, through networking and conversations, they discovered the CSP, and the rest is history from there as far as the acquisition. But the CSP does tie in with a lot of Envision's programs. Specifically, there's a program called the Level Up program. Some people may have heard of it, but it's a week-long conference in Wichita that is for middle school and high school students. And it allows them to go, and it's on a college campus. So it allows them to kind of experience what it's like to be on the campus, to eat in the dining hall. And they go through various workshops and learn different things. So that program really ties in then with the CSP, because the CSP kind of then comes in on the end of that and can pick up those students and continue helping them along their journey. And then Envision, again, I mentioned it's very focused on jobs. So this is where it kind of, again, comes full circle. Envision provides employment opportunities. And by having the CSP, we're opening a lot of those doors for students and members that are in our program to be able to see what's available, what kind of jobs are out there, get direct lines to these are the jobs that Envision is posting. So Envision is really focused on getting individuals hired both internally and externally. So Envision started off as manufacturing and still manufactures today. They do a lot of things for the Department of Defense. They make plastic bags, a lot of sewing of military uniforms. So there's always jobs for that. But there's also jobs within the accounting department, within the CSP. Envision has their workforce innovation center. So, that's really focused on that job creation, and there's jobs within that department too for students. And they're working on looking at job placement as a service as well to organizations. So Envision has been approached by other organizations who specifically want to hire people who are blind or low vision. So we'll coordinate, Envision will coordinate with those organizations as well. And Envision does provide relocation services. So if someone was interested in a position at Envision, Envision is located in Wichita as well as Dallas. So they do provide those relocation services if anybody ever wanted to, apply for a position and pursue one of those.
It's all very, very exciting times, and it's really been a seamless transition, at least from the mentor side of things. Actually, speaking on the mentors, kind of my last question for you, Katie, is could you maybe talk about the mentors, like maybe where they come from, their makeup, just kind of talk about, but talk about us.
Yeah. So the mentorship is really, to me, it's like the most exciting piece of the program. It's definitely one of the most important, most valuable pieces of it. So mentorship plays a huge role. Currently, we have 21 mentors. At any given time, there's 20 to 25 mentors in the program, and we have over 120 mentees. So those mentors, are matched up with those mentees. All the mentors are recent college graduates who are also blind or low vision. Some of the mentors are actually currently in school for their graduate degrees or PhDs, but they're very close to that college experience. They aren't, far away from it. So they have a lot of that knowledge and experience that they can share. And, our mentors have a wide range of areas of study and professions and interests. We have mentors in the STEM fields, information technology, working in social work and musical studies. We have marathon runners and tandem cyclists and professional dancers. So there's all these different pieces that students can come in and get matched with a mentor and be connected on various levels. So all of our mentors also have very high tech experience as well, experience with all kinds of assistive technology. And that's kind of, ties back to that research piece of students being able to understand their technology and how to use it. So our mentors are very valuable in that sense too, because they can help, their mentees with that. And that is one of the pieces that when we match a student with a mentor, we look at what technology do they use. So a student, mentorship is not a requirement of CSP members, but we do encourage it because it does really amplify the benefits of the program. But if a student is a part of the program, they want a mentor, they can fill out a request form. And then we spend some significant time matching them up with the right mentor. And then from there, a mentor and a mentee, they can create their own relationship. They determine how often they want to meet with each other, whether that's via email or text or phone calls. They work on goals together. Mentors will help mentees to identify what their goals are and then what they can do to achieve those goals. So it's really this, I would say, mutually beneficial partnership between the two that helps them succeed. And I know our mentors have learned stuff from the mentees as well. So it's really the crux of the CSP. It's really the most we feel valuable piece of it. And as you guys, I'm sure, will tell us some real life examples of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Katie. And now I'm going to turn it over to the mentors and the mentees. And we're going to start with me. So my name is Preston. I am your moderator, and I'm a mentor with the College Success Program. Just kind of a brief background about myself. I work in instructional design and web accessibility at a college here in New York City. I live and work with a seeing eye dog. I've been mentoring with the CSP for about maybe a year and a half, 18, 20 months. I was motivated to join the CSP because when I was in college, there was a mentor of mine who was also blind. He wasn't part of the CSP or anything, but he kind of showed me the ropes, as it were. And I thought that was really beneficial to myself, because when I was in college, it was, when you are in college, even if you don't have a disability, it could be extremely overwhelming and off-putting. And I was in a completely new state, not surrounded by my friends or family. So it was really nice to have someone to kind of bounce ideas off of and to just give constructive guidance. I currently work with 3 mentees right now. They're all spread out through different corners of the United States with differing majors. And it's a mutually rewarding experience. I get to kind of give back to an idea or an industry that has given me so much in my working life. And I also get to kind of, selfishly, it improves my communication skills. I'm also able to help those students. I regularly attend meetups and different activities sponsored by the CSP. So it's really phenomenal to really just observe the social growth and independence growth of some of the students. Sometimes you may encounter a student who's new to the program in September, and they're very hesitant to kind of advocate to themselves, to their professors. And then through kind of interacting with us and just gaining more confidence in January, suddenly they're, banging on their professor's door, telling them what accommodations they need and all that. It's very enlightening to see just kind of that growth and that self-confidence kind of being born out of that. So next, I'm going to turn it over to the second mentor that's part of this panel. So Amanda Baker, would you be able to kind of just tell us about yourself, maybe tell us about your mentoring journey and how you view the CSP?
Sure, Preston, thank you. So I am Amanda. I am also one of the other mentors. I have been mentoring for about 6 years, and I have 6 students. And a little bit about my background. So I'm also from New York, and I currently work as a librarian. So kind of an interesting career path. I went the whole math and history route, and then kind of dove into information science and retrieval. So it was interesting to see, like, as a visually impaired student, how to navigate all those courses, which is what led me to be interested in mentorship. And I think one of my favorite parts of mentorship, kind of as Preston mentioned, is to really see how far the students come, not only from September to May, but a lot of my students I've had since they were freshmen and now they're graduating this year. And it's really exciting and really inspirational to see how far they grow and what impact a mentor can have, and just having somebody to understand where they're kind of what they're going through, and to be a soundboard. I also attend a lot of the meetups and other events, so it's cool to see how the community grows and how students and other mentors form relationships. I think it's a community sometimes people feel far and removed from, because sometimes they might be the only blind person in their family, and now there's a whole community of people who can kind of laugh at the things, they laugh and cry at the same things, and it's really awesome to be able to make those bonds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Amanda. And so you've heard from myself and Amanda, 2 mentors, and now we're going to turn it actually over to a mentee, to a few mentees to kind of get their perspective on the College Success Program. So now I'm going to introduce Alira Goka to the stage. And Alira, could you maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe how you heard about the CSP program, maybe talk about your experience working with a mentor, and then maybe, just your overall experience as a blind individual in college.
Okay. Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Alira Goka, and I'm a senior at Kutztown University of Pennsylvania. I'm studying to be a teacher of the visually impaired, and I hope to work in a school for the blind after I graduate. As a college student who's blind, I receive accommodations that allow me to succeed at the university. Some of these accommodations include extended time on exams, tests, quizzes, handouts, and class materials provided in an accessible Word document, and the use of a computer for note-taking and taking exams. I also experience inaccessibility around campus. This includes lack of braille labels on washers and dryers in the residence halls, and the inability of faculty members to assist blind students in using the university's LMS, or Learning Management System D2L, due to their lack of knowledge about screen readers. I'm a student worker in the Disability Services Office, and a project that I have been working on to improve inaccessibility is creating tutorial videos on how to use D2L with JAWS. These videos will allow blind students to navigate D2L independently and hopefully educate faculty members on how screen readers work. I came to learn about the CSP back in 2018. I joined a program in New Jersey called EDGE 2.0, which stands for Employment Development Guidance and Engagement, and the purpose of the program was to prepare blind and visually impaired college students for the workplace. CSP was very much integrated into EDGE. All students were expected to read through resources on the CSP website. All students were also assigned a mentor, and all students were encouraged to attend meetups. The CSP has had a significant impact on me. It has provided me with an abundance of resources on topics like discovering technology and career exploration all in one place, which I could never find anywhere else. The extensive collection of audiobooks I received access to through the CSP provided me with plenty of options for both leisurely and academic reading. Mentorship has also had a significant impact on me. My mentor's name is Megan McCormick, and I am so proud to be paired with her. We share a lot of the same experiences because we are both blind, and we can easily relate to each other's situations. Megan has listened to many frustrations I experienced due to my blindness and life in general, and provided me with suggestions on how those frustrations could be alleviated. Megan has also shared many helpful resources with me, like information about CSP scholarships and meetups. Additionally, she has shared her experiences regarding finding employment and cooking as an individual who is blind, which I found very beneficial. I absolutely enjoy working with Megan, and I can't wait to continue working with her in the future. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you so much, Alira. It's phenomenal hearing your story, and you're doing phenomenal work making those videos, teaching individuals how to use the LMS. So last but finally not least, I'm going to turn it over to Kennedy Stomberg, our other mentee panelist today. Kennedy, can you maybe, just tell us your story, how you came to the College Success Program, how it has helped you, and just talk about maybe your academic journey.
Certainly. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. So thank you all for having me. Before joining the College Success Program, I was doing pretty well in college. I had good grades. I was pretty active on my campus, very social, lots of friends, and I had even spent a semester abroad in Denmark. But there was still something I was missing, which I'll talk about in a moment. I joined the CSP as a senior in college. I had just returned from a semester abroad, as I mentioned, and I had decided to begin the process of applying for graduate school. Now, my college had a lot of really great resources to help people who were applying to graduate school. They had their career office and professors that were willing to help. However, I was the only student with a visual impairment on my campus, and I had concerns about graduate school and the application process that none of my sighted peers and professors could really answer, such as, how and when do I disclose my disability during the application process? So what I really needed, what I was missing, as I alluded to earlier, was somebody who was blind that had gone through this before. So when I saw an email about joining the CSP and requesting a mentor, I immediately filled out the request form and kind of specified that I needed help navigating the graduate school application process. And I was soon matched with a mentor, actually within about a week, I was soon matched with a mentor who was able to address all of my concerns. And now my mentor, Brianna, has been absolutely amazing ever since we started working together. As a senior in college, she helped me navigate the graduate school application process as a student with a visual impairment, which was awesome. She gave me great advice about disclosing my disability on my applications. And she even walked me through the accommodation process of taking the GRE, which is sort of the standardized test used by graduate schools. And I thought I was all set. After that, I had Brianna, I had these resources on campus, but I just wasn't quite ready. And my first round of applications did not go well. This was in about 2017, and I was applying to PhD programs and got rejected by all of them. And when that happened, Brianna was an incredible part of my support system. She was super encouraging and kind and very willing to listen to me just sort of rant when I needed to. But I did eventually decide to try and apply for master's programs. And Brianna actually went above and beyond because she found a list of master's programs in my field, including the school where I ultimately received my master's degree. So that was really above and beyond what she needed to do. And and still am very grateful that she took the time to help me with that, because it contributed to my journey in a great way. And so throughout graduate school, Brianna and I continued to work together. She was always a great listener if I just needed to rant or be frustrated, but she often provided much needed perspective about pursuing a graduate degree as a student who is blind, and always gave really great suggestions and valuable advice. In addition to working with Brianna, I also had the opportunity to take advantage of other CSP resources, and specifically the opportunity to participate in summer workshops that are offered by the CSP. I participated in a workshop on coding in the Python programming language. This is a super necessary skill in my field, but I hadn't really had the opportunity to learn previously. And so it was really great to learn it with CSP mentors. These workshops are run by by CSP mentors. And it was really great to learn with them because not only were they aware of Python, the programming language, and coding in general, but also how it interacts with screen readers and the quirks you need to be aware of to get it to work well, which I might have been able to figure out, but it was so nice to learn it from other blind people. So overall, and sort of in conclusion, I would say that the CSP has really enhanced my college journey and my graduate school journey, and I was able to not only do well, but thrive as a result of being part of the CSP, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Kennedy, and thank you to our mentor and mentees. Thanks again to Amanda, Alira, and Kennedy. So our kind of winding down to the end of my portion of this presentation, but I do have just one more question, a few more announcements. So Katie, Atagio, just quick question for you. So how would someone go about signing up for CSP if they're a student?
Yeah, so students can sign up at our website, which is collegesuccessbvi.org, and we can put that in the chat. And so you can go there to sign up. You just fill out the registration. The CSP is provided at no cost to students. So, that's a big benefit to the students there. After students sign up, they get access to a personalized dashboard, which is where they can then go and request a mentor. If they request a mentor and are matched, they will also be able to then interact with their mentor through that dashboard as well. There is a chat feature there. Mentors can assign resources. If there's a certain subject that a mentee or a student is interested in, a mentor can say, point directly to a specific resource that addresses that. Students can also access all of our resources on the website, get call-in information for the meetups, get added to our email list so that they'll be able to get information about upcoming webinars and new resources. So visiting the website, again, collegesuccessbvi.org is where they can go to register. And we also are on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So I encourage everyone to, go find us on there and follow us there as well.
So I believe that is the end of our portion. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, team, now do we turn it over for Q&A, is that correct?
That works.
Awesome.
Yeah, we do have some questions. I think, did you see them, Katie, Frederick? One of them, Dave asked about how is this funded?
Yeah, so the program is funded through kind of two different ways, through philanthropy, also through some state agencies. We currently have contracts with some states, not all states, however. So, we get that funding through those two channels. If you would like to go and join the program through your VR, you can connect with us and we can work with them to get that all to happen. But students can sign up on their own as well, just kind of do it on their own time. But again, it's at no cost because it's funded through philanthropy and state agencies.
And is there a website we can direct people to? Can we put that in the chat?
Yes, it is collegesuccessbvi.org. I can put it in there.
And there was another question. Oh, where did it
Yes,
go?
about attending. So the question was about yes. Is it available to any college student, whether you are whether they're in a community college or if you are in grad school? Can you be a part-time student?
Oh, of course. No, it's open to any college. So you mean community college, you could be getting your PhD, grad school, vocational school. So any secondary education or post-secondary.
And there was just a follow-up question, age range, like youngest.
Yeah, so there's not really a defined age range. So we have, at least not that I'm aware of, correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. I know that we've had mentees as young as 18, and we've had some non-traditional mentees who have been in their 50s and sometimes their 60s.
Yeah, there is no age cap at all. As long as you are a student in higher education of some kind. Typically, we start at 18 for this program, especially with the connecting with the mentors piece of it. We are in the process of researching and developing a program that touches a little bit younger. So that middle school and high school age, we've done some research in that area, and we're going to be developing that piece of the program too. So that will be coming down the pike. But yeah, basically 18, anybody who's transitioning from high school to college or currently in college.
Exciting. How long from listening to a question? Did you see that one, Katie? Someone is an adult who's out of college and wants to be guided through the process of, I don't know if you guys saw.
I got it. Someone's asking if they're out of college, but they're trying to go back to school. Where to start? Could they sign up for this program and get a mentor as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's part of what it's there for, is for helping through that type of process. So yes, I would recommend doing that, signing up and getting a mentor.
And what does the application process look like? Are there certain criteria, certain things you need to do? What's the duration from the time you hit that application button to the time you're assigned a mentor?
Yeah, so application maybe is a bit of a strong word. It's really just a registration type of process. So you go in, submit information such as your name, the location. We do ask about visual impairment. That is a requirement of the program. There's various, like different things to fill out, contact information, stuff like that. And then once you hit submit, you're in the program. From there, if you want to request a mentor, there is an additional form to fill out for that. As I mentioned before, that's on the dashboard section of the website. So once a student registers and they log in, they'll be able to access that there. We then receive that request, and we'll go through a process of starting to directly reach out to that student, talk with the student, understand a little bit more of what they're looking for. We'll take that back with us to compare it with the mentors that we have available, and then we'll work to make that connection. From the time someone submits a request to the time they're connected, I would say is approximately 2 weeks, maybe a little less than that, but I'll say 2 weeks to be on the safe side.
Just to add on to that, actually, and once you are matched with a mentor, the structure of that relationship is very individualized. So you're not required to meet with your mentor every single week. You're not required to go to every single activity. It's really just based on what the student works out with their mentor. So for instance, I meet with my 3 mentees at differing durations. I always meet with one on Sundays. I always meet with one Mondays. I have another one that we may go months without speaking, but that's just something that we've kind of agreed upon. So there's a lot of flexibility, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's wonderful. I really, really like this. And I just want to double check or invite people to put questions in the chat, and we're happy to address them in the remaining minutes we have. Or if any of the panelists have anything that you want to contribute. And we talked earlier, you guys, you have your meetups, correct?
Mm-hmm. They're Tuesday nights from 6:15 to 8:15 Eastern time, and then Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern time.
And that looks like, is that on Zoom? Is that in a meeting room?
Yes, they're all on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good mix. Usually about 4 or 5 mentors that show up, and then maybe I'd say maybe 5 to 7 mentees. So it's not a huge group, but it's a really great way for us to get to know each other and kind of answer common questions, or just kind of just chat. It's very
So
informal.
it's not structured. It's just you get together and
No,
you talk.
not structured at all. We usually end up
Every-
talking about food for half of it.
And Shannon just asked, do the mentors and mentees ever meet in person?
I'll answer this but I'll default to Katie or maybe Amanda. I have not heard of many mentors meeting their mentees in person, just because a lot of them don't live in the same area, but I don't know if that's the norm. So do you guys have any feedback on that?
I also haven't met with any of my mentees in person, but that's not to say that other mentors wouldn't be able to. But I think it's meant to really be a virtual experience. That way it's easier to connect and things like that.
Katie, did you get the other question?
I did, yes. So we
Okay,
have
cool.
a question about, can mentors provide guidance on things like applying to colleges and getting feedback on college admission essays, some related things like that. So
Definitely.
Definitely.
I wouldn't say it's not, professional help, but our advice, from what we've experienced, we will provide.
Oh, did we lose you or?
we're good. I think we might have lost the person. Yes.
I can pick up after that. So kind of in the same vein of the meeting schedules and durations, it's also it's really up to the mentor and the mentee, and really actually the mentee, what we would want to help them with. So it could be something like we're talking about, assisting with college applications, or assisting with, giving them tips on to how to cook independently or how to travel independently. One of my students just moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area after living on the other side of the country. So a big series of topics that we've gone over is how to adjust, like learning the new public transit system, learning how to basically live on his own for the first time in a non-dorm setting. So be it like, apartment life, learning the layout of his building, learning how to get ingratiated with a new social scene in his area. So it's very wide ranging. It's topics that are specific to the blind community and topics that are specific to just everyone in general.
And to follow up a little bit with that question, can the mentors help find things like internships and or help provide some guidance on things like resume writing?
Sure. So many times, I wouldn't say that, I'm not going to say that mentors have necessarily connections to internships, but if we do have specific recommendations for places to apply, kind of, not inside information, but anything in our experience that would be beneficial for them when applying for internships or when working on resume, we definitely assist them with that. Many times I've had to look over some of my students' resumes. I never write them for them, but I'll look them over, maybe provide feedback on verbiage or maybe styling. Yeah, lots of different job-related activities like that.
Have you had? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's really great about this too is that, if a specific mentor maybe doesn't have experience in a certain area that their mentee is asking about, maybe one of our other mentors do. So it's not that, that they're limited to just getting information from one person. Our mentors are all very connected with each other. And they meet monthly in small groups. So they can bring that kind of to each other to say, hey, I had a student who was asking me about this. I know so-and-so, you work with that type of technology. What can you tell me from here? And also, again, our resources, if a mentor wants to speak to more specific things that we maybe have a resource on, or it's something that they may not have as much knowledge on, but we have that resource, they can direct the students right to that.
And there was a question on how does one get vetted to be a mentor? What's the process on determining if their mentor, prospective mentor?
Yeah. So periodically we will open up mentor positions, and it's an interview process. We collect resumes, people submit applications, and we interview them, and then from there determine who we think would be great for the program. I will say that we will most likely be looking to hire more mentors in the near future. So if that's something people are interested in, be on the lookout for communications from the CSP about that.
Now, when you say hire as a volunteer, or is it actually paid?
So our mentor positions are paid. They are considered a paid employee of Envision. Yes, it is a paid position.
Fantastic.
But many of our mentors also have other more full-time jobs as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And for those of you who are mentoring, have you people come to you for all types of things, like you had said, helping out with guidance on a resume, maybe traveling? How do you get around New York City with your seeing eye dog? I'm sure you get questions about traveling and being as independent as possible.
Definitely. Yeah, that's probably the number one topic that we get, because it's something that we all share, and it's something that we all I don't want to say struggle, but it's something we all have to deal with. And there's such variance in traveling, from using a cane to working with a guide dog. Some students may have enough vision where they can walk without use of a cane or a guide dog. So, and it's also very interesting to kind of understand the different public transportation setups and different neighborhood setups of our different students. So I live in a part of the city that it's very walkable. So I can walk to like the grocery store, the different restaurants very easily. I'm also located close to lots of different subways, but we also have lots of students who are a bit more isolated with regards to public transit and walkability. So being able to kind of empathize with them and work with them to figure out different walking routes, different public transit routes, is extremely important as a mentor.
That's fantastic. Travel anxiety. Yeah, big city, small.
May I jump in too?
Sure.
And I think too, something that we talk about a lot is the technology to use to navigate. So do you use Google Maps, or how do you use different apps, and which apps work better in which areas? A lot of students have kind of asked about. And so that's kind of an important thing to talk about too, is using technology with your skills.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, Katie Frederick, my colleague, she can tell you how many times I've gone to her for help with Microsoft Teams.
Oh yeah.
So I think we, as peers, we go to each other for help and all the time. So it just speaks to volumes of why your college success program is so empowering, so important, so critical for self-confidence and everything you talked about. Do we have any other questions in the chat that we can wrap it up with? been a
Richard,
very good
There was
talk. Yes.
there was something I wanted to touch on, or I wanted to talk a little bit more about. Kennedy touched a little bit on our workshops. So I just wanted to tell a little bit more about those. We offer those in the summer, and they are an opportunity for students. It's kind of a different approach than, focusing on academics and job searches and stuff like that. We offer workshops that cover things like coding that Kennedy talked about. We also have a virtual choir. We've had creative writing. We've had a mindfulness workshop, book club, movie club. So we think, we feel that that's an important piece too, is, not just the academics and the job hunt, but also that social piece of it, and, finding out what interests you and developing hobbies. So we typically offer those in the summertime, and those are offered to our members as well. Also run by our mentors too.
That's very cool. Very exciting. Are there any final thoughts from the panelists or you, Katie, about just any last minute impressions you want to leave with our audience and those who are watching this?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who attended, and again, direct everyone to the website collegesuccessbvi.org, where you can go find out more about the program. You can also reach out to us via email at csp@envisionus.com. We will answer any questions that come in through there. And again, thank you all. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank each of you. Really impressed overall. You guys keep up the amazing work, and we hope to have you all back. And I just missed that last one, Katie.
Getting some love from Wisconsin.
Oh, right. Hey,
Yeah.
Dave up in Wisconsin. He runs an amazing transition program.
There
So
you
Dave,
go.
I hope you can connect your students.
Someone's asking about the criteria for the program. Is there any criteria for that in terms of, vocational school or anything like that that you need to be a part of?
No, it's really it's a broad criteria for a reason. We want people to be able to access it and utilize it regardless of what your college journey looks like. So really the criteria is that you are pursuing some type of higher education and you are blind or have low vision.
All right.
Well, thank you. Thank
I
you,
need-
guys. Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
No, I just before people start running away, I want to give our
Yes.
closing code. So I don't know,
Absolutely.
Richard, if you want to close it out, or do you want me
Yeah,
to?
I'll just say for the purpose of the webinar, thank you, Envision College Success. Thank you, Katie and panelists. We enjoyed having you.